This is Artful Discourse, your weekly escape into the vibrant world of creativity, culture, and intellectual exploration. I'm your host, Benjamin Kirk, and I invite you to join me on a journey through the rich tapestry of human thought and the beating heart of artistic expression at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. Hello and welcome to this week's Artful Discourse. Today is Saturday, February 8th, and we're going to be talking about the Peach Blossom Festival. I have a few students coming in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about the Peach Blossom Festival this year, how they're involved, and how they're looking for volunteers. But first, let's talk about what we have coming up in the College of Arts and Humanities. Now, we have all of our events listed on our calendar at calendar.fresnostate.edu. We have an art exhibit going on in our Dean's Gallery, and it's just a small exhibit, but it's African Americans and Labor Art Exhibition. And it's put on by Vanessa Addison Williams in the Department of Art Design and Art History. And it highlights the complex and transformational histories of the skilled and unskilled labor in America, Africa, and the diaspora. And it features, one of the paintings in there is one of our alums and President's Medalist from a few years ago, Audia Dixon. And she's one of my favorite artists, and she has a piece hanging in there that's just beautiful. So I really invite you to come out and take a look. This is African Americans and Labor Art Exhibition, and that is in the Dean's Gallery. That's in the Old Music Building here on campus at the College of Arts and Humanities. Also coming up, we have a graduate art show, speaking of art, that's going to be in the Phoebe Conley Art Gallery, and it starts Monday, February 10th, and this is for Adelia Rodriguez Graduate Art Show. It's called Come One, Come All. And it's inspired by the vibrant energy of the Circus Carnival. And this exhibition invites audiences to explore themes of performance, identity, and spectacle through various mediums. So Rodriguez captures the balance between the whimsical and introspective, offering a unique lens on the extraordinary within everyday life. And that starts Monday, and that is going to run through Friday, February 21st, with a reception. So if you want to come out, meet the artist, get some food, some drink, and then just enjoy a great art show, you can come out on Thursday, February 13th between 5 and 7 p.m. and enjoy one of our graduate students' artwork. On February 12th, we have the concert called The Wild Called Max. Now, last week, we actually had Dr. Russ Zokates on the show, and we talked to him about this show. And this is kind of an adaptation of Where the Wild Things Are, except, a little bit with a twist and a little bit simpler story. And it's set to a series of jazz and pop tunes. So it's a really unique show. It's only been shown a few times. It's been shown in Brooklyn, New York. It's been shown in Indiana at the International Trombone Festival. And so now it's going to be at Fresno State. You're welcome to come out and take a look at this. Tickets for that are they're free for Fresno State students. And hold on just a moment. I'm pulling this up. Let's see. It's $25 for general admission, $20 if you're a military veteran, active military, or a veteran, a senior over 60, or a Fresno State employee, and non-Fresno State students are $15. Then also, last week, we talked to Dr. Carrie Earnhardt, who is the director of choral activities here at Fresno State, but she's also the chair of the School of Music, and she is putting on her concert called Walk in Peace. Now, this concert is it's phenomenal. It's a celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King and Black History Month, and it's just an amazing concert to go to every year. It's very touching. It combines the Fresno State choirs along with the Fresno City College choirs. Now, we did this last week, so you can listen to that interview with Dr. Carrie Earnhardt on our podcast, Artful Discourse Podcast. You can also find it on our blog, FresnoStateCAH.com. We have a story about the concert along with that audio interview with Dr. Carrie Earnhardt from last week. And then starting next week from February 14th, Valentine's Day, through February 22nd, we will have the Contemporary Dance Ensemble, and they will be performing their show called Stability/Change under the artistic direction of Kenneth Bayland. Now, this is going to be exciting. We have a bunch of students performing, and much of the choreography is original by Fresno State professor Kenneth Boyleth, by Angela Rosencrans. She's a dance program director in Scottsdale Community College in Arizona. Wiley Wang, a movement artist and educator, and Abigail Salyer, a Fresno State student. They're going to be performing 6 unique repertory dance works that explore the themes of social activism, nonsensical rules and regulations, abstract vision infused with deep human emotions, family bonds, belonging, and a nostalgic look at the 1980s. So come on out and see that. You can, again, go to calendar.fresnostate.edu, find this event, and click on the Buy Tickets button. Tickets are $20 general admission, $18 for faculty, staff, alumni, seniors, and military, and students are $10. So come on out. It's going to be a great show. This show runs Friday, February 14th through Saturday, February 22nd. It does not run on Monday, February 17th. So we look forward to seeing you out there. All right, that's what's going on at Fresno State this week. Let's bring in our students and talk about the Peach Blossom Festival. Every spring, thousands of young people descend onto the Fresno State campus for the annual Peach Blossom Festival. Students as young as 5 years old through the 8th grade participate in the oral interpretation events. The festival aims to excite Central Valley youth about literature and performance, and in many cases, it's their first time visiting a university, so it gives them that exposure to higher education, making college a bit more of an achievable goal. This year's Peach Blossom Festival is March 6th and 7th. That's Thursday and Friday. The festival is completely run by Fresno State students in the Speech, Communications, and Theater Arts Department and volunteers. Today we have 3 Fresno State students joining us, Daphne Doss, Dillon Boghossian, Lizbeth Lemus, to tell us about the Peach Blossom Festival and how you can get involved in this amazing event. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
So let's start with you, Daphne. What is your major, and what are your long-term goals after you graduate?
Yeah, so I'm a communication major, and then I'm minoring in theater arts acting. So I have those 2 different kind of really fun, exciting sides to me. In the future, I want to kind of combine the both, and I want to work in marketing for like a theater, so like the Saurian Theater, for example.
Okay, very cool. And
So I got my bachelor's degree in communication studies, and now I am in the communication studies master's program here at Fresno State. But I specialize in border rhetoric. So to me, Peach Blossom, it creates leaders, people that are willing to advocate for themselves and those around them. And most of these students are first generation students. So with public speaking, they get to become leaders and speak up.
and what are your long-term plans? What are
My
you
long
hoping to
term,
do?
yes. So my long term goals, become a professor, and then eventually come back and receive my EDD in education admin and
Mhm.
go into equity and inclusion fields.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you looking at the Crimin School for that, or?
Yes, I am.
All right. Yeah. I myself, a master's in the HEAL program over there.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
it's very similar. That would be my next step if I went forward. And you, Dylan?
Um, my major is I'm a communications major. It's my last semester here. Long-term goals is honestly just any field that helps people really.
Hmm.
Right now I'm a manager at a care home for like adults with mental disabilities. So maybe with my degree, I'm hoping I just go from there and get a bigger, better instead of just looking over one home. I could look over dozen homes, 2 dozen homes, make sure everything's going right. These guys are living the best life they can.
Yeah. All right, Daphne, I want to start with you. How would you describe the Peach Blossom Festival?
It is the most chaotic and fun 2 days of the year. Absolutely.
And get a little bit deeper. What is it? What happens at the Peach Blossom Festival?
Yeah, so at the Peach Blossom Festival, we have different, all students from K through 6th grades come to Fresno State and they perform their prepared, whether it's like a monologue, it's all oral interpretation, but it's all like a monologue. Sometimes they can write it and they all prepare it and they perform it in all different classrooms and theaters around Fresno State.
Now, I know, Daphne, you worked on the Peach Blossom last year. Now, Lizbeth and Dillon, is this your first year?
It's my third year.
Your third year.
Mhm.
And
And
Dillon?
this is my first year.
All right. So, um, what was your favorite part about organizing the festival last year for the two of you who were involved?
I would say I don't have like a specific favorite part, but definitely the anticipation before, because we find all these new ideas and sometimes we don't use it that year, but we use it the following year. I remember my first year, I had so many t-shirt designs that weren't used that year, but then were used the following year. And then this year we're coming up with all these new ideas, but we're like, this is already like next
Right,
month.
right.
I think for me, it's really just about the kids.
Hmm.
Watching all the kids be so proud of themselves, watching their families and their teachers come to Fresno State and watch them and be proud of them also was just like the coolest thing.
And how many kids are you expecting this year? Do we know the number?
Last year, I know we had over like 300 schools and like 3,000 students. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And it is crazy when you're on campus. It's just the circle outside of campus is just school buses coming in and
Mhm.
out, and students are everywhere. A bunch of kids are just all over the place. It is a nutty thing to watch, and it's amazing how organized it is and how the whole campus is involved.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
there's classrooms all over campus that these students are performing in,
Mhm.
as well as main stages.
Yes.
Now, did you last year get an opportunity to see any of the performances?
I did. I was actually not a committee member last year, but I was a judge. So I was judging back to back, maybe like 3 or 4 performances. But the year before that, in 2023, I was a committee member in the t-shirt and design team. I would say the teams over the years have definitely evolved. I remember in 2023, we had like 3 or 4 teams, and now we have like 7 or 8.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Last year I got to judge. I had like about a bunch of different jobs last year because I
Hmm.
was part of I was the outreach team lead. And so my job really by the Peach Blossom Festival was done. And so I really assisted other teams like helping with t-shirts and registration and giving out certificates, but then I also got to go and judge. So I got to see a lot of different performances, which were really fun.
Do either of you have a favorite performance that you remember that you could describe?
I do actually. I had a little girl who we got to judge in the brand new Gorgeous Student Union, and she was homeschooled, so this was her first time ever seeing like a giant college campus or like any sort of school campus. I remember she was very young, and she wrote a poem about her cat, and she performed it all by herself, and it was kind of the cutest thing I think I've ever seen.
All right. That is these performances are super cute. Is the
Oh yeah.
public invited to come out and watch this at all?
Yeah, it's a totally public event. It just depends obviously on like if you know where you're going
Hmm.
because there's so many kids everywhere and there's so many classrooms that are open. But then, if you open a door to a classroom, there might be an actual college class
Right,
happening.
right. Business as usual on campus
Hmm.
in those days. Yes. All right. So I understand judges and volunteers are needed for this year, and both of you said you were judges last year.
Mhm.
Um, how can people get involved in that?
There will be a judging form that's going to be sent out very, very soon. Right now, if you need any information about the Peach Blossom Festival, it's on our website, peachblossomfestival.com.
Okay. And you talked about being a judge last year. A little bit about your experience. How is it? What's involved in being a judge or volunteering? What do you need people to be doing?
So basically, as a judge, you just go in there and evaluate these student performances, have a cheerful attitude because a lot of these students are really nervous. It's their first time speaking in public. Um, you evaluate them and just give them feedback, and then they'll receive a certificate at the end of the day.
And it's all positive too.
Right.
It's like a huge thing about your judges to be very positive, not negative at all. There's only 3 different awards to give out, and it's like good, excellent, and like outstanding. So nothing, you never ever did a bad job, even if you just stood up there and forgot your entire performance.
Mhm.
So it's not really a competition then at all, right? It's more of an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Did any of you participate in the Peach Blossom Festival when you were young?
No, I didn't have a chance to ever participate. So knowing that I can get involved this way now that I'm older is, a good way to get my special input in for the children.
Yeah, Dylan, this is your first year in your involvement. How has the experience been so far?
It's been pretty chaotic a little bit. I'm part of the customer service and record keeping team. So we're getting a lot of emails regarding invoices, important dates and details that school need. Just they need to schedule buses. We're all trying to handle that as much as we can. We're one of the bigger teams. I think there's 5 of us on our team. So if you're emailing us, give us a little bit and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Now, is this an actual class? How is it structured?
Yeah, it's an actual class. I believe you can enroll twice.
Yes, twice.
And
Yeah.
the third time, you can enroll as well, but you won't receive credit. So
Mhm.
the first year I was in it was my first time. So I did receive credit, but the second year I was just a volunteer. And then this is my third year and I already graduated. I'm a master's student, so I'm just doing this for fun.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
It- um, all right, so let's talk a little bit about your roles within the festival, and I want to start with you, Dylan, because this is your first year and you're on the customer service team. So, what does that mean? First of all, could you briefly describe just how the class is structured and how everybody's split into teams? What teams are there?
Yeah, so there is social media and then outreach. Those are 2 separate teams that Daphne's taking on. She's the lead for both of them. And then there's the team that's in charge of the T-shirts and buttons. They design the buttons and the T-shirts that the children will be receiving from the festival. There's us, the record keeping and customer service, and then
And registration.
yeah, there
Sorry.
you go. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
choppy.
So the
but yeah.
certificates, they design the certificates that the children receive after completing their performance.
Yeah.
And then it's I think the 2 are together, the registration and internal communications. That's where they reach out to people in the school, student athletes to volunteer, stuff like that.
And so this is entirely student run.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally.
There's faculty that are involved, but it's mainly, as the teachers or the guidance.
Yeah.
But it's actually student run.
Oh
the whole
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's a huge event. I mean, just thousands of students and everything else. So as far as the customer service team, what specifically are you working on?
Okay, so the first week we actually had Moss. He's one of the assistant directors. He was linked our emails, and we instantly started getting emails flooding our inboxes. Um, we had to worry about invoices. It was pretty hectic. We had Moss send out like a main like master message that covered the majority of everything, telling them not to worry about invoices, they're on their way. And then we're just going from there. And just, some people need to change registrations. They have 2 groups instead of 3 groups, like single groups. Every school has a certain amount of like duo groups, a single, or like more than a bigger group performances wise. So they're kind of changing as we get closer to the deadline. I'm sure that's going to die down because there's a deadline for the final changes. So we're just waiting for that date.
All right. And then day of, I assume your involvement's pretty heavy too, is customer service.
Yeah, yeah. If we're not necessarily, I'm assuming that we're gonna be probably just
Mhm.
helping everyone, if whoever needs help, or whether it's the teams or lost parents, or yeah. So just, or any team that needs help. Hopefully we can get some volunteers for judgment, so a lot of us workers don't get stuck in judging and get more people involved.
Now, Elizabeth, you are the customer service team leader.
Mhm.
So I wanted to get Dylan's perspective first, because
Mhm.
otherwise,
Yeah.
I could get lost if I asked you first. So tell me from your perspective what's going on with customer service, and how many people are on that team?
I believe it is 5 of us. We're
Okay.
one of the bigger teams. Mhm.
So maybe the day of, what are you looking at?
So Most of our work is before the festival, and
Mhm.
the day of the festival, we will basically be, judging if there's judges needed, or helping other teams, whether it's like selling T-shirts or handing out certificates, just anything that's needed that day.
And ahead of it, you're just working with getting
Yeah.
kids registered and
hmm
getting things going.
Getting them
All
going.
right.
Yeah.
All right. And Daphne, you're leading two
I
teams.
am.
So tell me about what's going on with your two teams.
So last year I was just the lead of outreach, which was so fun. And this year, last year I was the lead of outreach, but I also did a lot with social media because I think outreach and social media just kind of naturally go together. And so this year, Moss, again, assistant director, he kind of came up to me and we kind of weirdly kind of just like said the same thing to each other of like, hypothetically, what if I did both? And they were like, all right, you'll do it. And I was like, perfect. And so outreach is responsible for going out to the community and getting volunteers for Peach Blossom, letting people know about Peach Blossom, reaching out to different schools, different businesses for sponsorship, stuff like that. And then social media, obviously, is exactly what that is of
Mhm.
just getting people aware of Peach Blossom. My team and I have totally kind of transformed the Peach Blossom social media, and we've done a ton of posts. We have certain like specific posts that go out every single week on a specific day. And so during the festival, outreach doesn't do much. I remember last year I judged, and then I also just kind of ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. It's very organized chaos for everybody. But social media, I'll be obviously now running around helping, but also documenting
Right.
everything.
Which is a lot of times in itself a full-time job,
It
especially
is,
the day
yeah.
of. Yeah, yeah. So, what are your so let's talk about some of the key properties you're working on as far as digitally. You have your website, and then you talked about the social media. What are your social media handles? What platforms are you on?
We are on Instagram and TikTok, primarily Instagram and Facebook because like they're both like linked, and it's just Fresno State Peach Blossom. And we have our Facebook linked, and then also our website linked also.
Okay. All right. What for and this is a question for each of you one at a time. What are you most looking forward to at Peach Blossom this year?
Ooh, I'm just excited to see how different it is from last year's. Because this is just my second year, and so I only have the experience of last year, much like you obviously have, like for the past like 3 years. So I'm very excited to see the differences. Whether hopefully they're so much better, but just any differences from last year. Hopefully, maybe it's a little bit more organized,
Yeah.
or like I'm not as stressed out, stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I'm very excited and just to see the kids come. And my past elementary school is coming again also, which is really, really
Oh,
fun.
nice, nice.
Yeah, definitely. The festival has been very much more organized throughout the years. In 2023, we were starting from scratch. Our social medias were empty, but my favorite part, definitely just seeing that face of relief in the students' faces. Like, I got that done. And whether or not they want to come back, at least they know, I'm capable of giving a performance.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just excited and looking forward to just being a part of it, of
Mhm.
the actual day. I remember last year I got out of class and I was like, what is going on? I seen all the chaos and hectic stuff. So it really wanted me to get involved. And also, I was in another class and the teacher was just like, we're doing peach blossoms. So, she just, canceled class that day and we went and just looked around and I was like, "Oh, definitely. I
Yeah.
definitely need to
It's
get
so
involved
fun,
with this."
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything I missed? Anything you'd like to add?
Anybody who wants to volunteer, you can always DM the Peach Awesome Festival Instagram. We can totally get you like hooked up in that area. And then very, very soon there will be a form if there not is already on the website that you can go out and you can fill out. You do not have to be a Fresno State student. You can be anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Primarily, we love college students because obviously then hopefully, you get to take the class next year. But just like anybody who has a heart for a kid and wants to judge
Mhm.
them.
Yeah, and we will be going into classrooms in the next weeks or so if you're a Fresno State student to give you more information on how to volunteer.
Okay. So you're actually going around to different. What
Yep.
what classes are you going to? Just
Primarily communication studies classes and a few liberal studies classes.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Anything for you, Dylan?
No, I just encourage people to come out and volunteer, the the more the merrier, and it's a better way to get involved. And like Daphne said, hopefully they could get a sense of it like I did, and then want to join the following year, because it's definitely something to get involved with.
And Lizbeth, I think the fact that you're coming back as a master's student and not getting credit for the class, you're just coming back to volunteer, is a testament to how fun this is.
It is. It's great. It's awesome. I encourage everyone to be a part of it. I have a few of my old classmates from Ridley College that I actually encouraged to come and volunteer last year, so that was very fun.
All right. Now, I do have one more question. On your website, do you have videos of previous performances?
Instagram.
Instagram.
We have photos
Okay.
everywhere. Literally, if you just Google Fresno State Peach Blossom Festival, you'll find like news segments that we've done, and certain videos that will just pop up on Google. But primarily, obviously, on Instagram and Facebook, you'll find a lot.
Right. And one thing is you do get great media coverage every year too. So it's
Yeah.
fun to see it on the news as well. Yeah, really looking forward to this. Thank you, Daphne, Lizbeth, and Dillon. Artful Discourse is a production of the College of Arts and Humanities at California State University, Fresno. The Dean is Dr. Honora Chapman. This program is written, directed, and produced by me, Benjamin Kirk, the college's communication specialist. The theme song for Artful Discourse is Maiden Voyage by Fresno State music professor Benjamin Boone from his album, Joy. More information about his music can be found at benjaminboone.com. Special thanks to KFSR and FSR Underground General Manager Julie Lindahl for making this show possible. You can learn more about the College of Arts and Humanities and find an archive of our shows at our website, cah.fresnostate.edu, or on our blog, fresnostatecah.com.